Content warning, Matt Gaetz. Content warning, Marjorie Taylor Greene. Content warning, Donald Trump Jr. Content warning, Giga Cringe. PDF file. It is true. It is true, unfortunately. So over the last couple of days, there's been something that we unfortunately have to deal with every single year, and it's conservatives coming together in their league of villainy, their rogues gallery. They all come together. They all come together to talk about how much worse they can make the world. They congratulate themselves on how many lives they've ruined, and they talk about how much worse they would like the world to become. That's just like how conservatives like to spend their time.
This meme is very real.
Right? And obviously the big names that you already know were there, but we didn't get to touch on it when it exactly happened. The main reason was because I thought it was mad boring, and I didn't think that it was going to be anything worth covering necessarily. And I still pretty much believe that. With that being said, after it's been done, I think there's something very interesting that we could talk about. We can like pick. So after it's been done, I think we can like pick through some of the debris from this absolute disgusting monstrosity that was TPUSA, their convention that they held in Florida, if I remember correctly, and see what went on. And I have to tell you, it's nothing good. So where do we start? I think that we should start in a really interesting place where most people start before they go into a convention, which is outside of the venue. So outside of the venue, there was an interesting section of the Republican voter base, and
this meme is
that
very
were
real.
literal neo-Nazis. Nazis at Turning Point USA convention in Tampa were openly supporting
This meme is
DeSantis,
very
yet
real.
DeSantis has repeatedly refused to condemn Nazi protesters for months. He won't, because they are his base. DeSantis would be an existential threat to democracy if he's elected president. Makes a lot of sense. I remember specifically when DeSantis was asked, will he condemn Nazism and anti-Semitism? And he said, I will not play your games of denouncing this or that, and then just walked away. So he's a very interesting little boy. So as you can see here is them holding a sign here. This is Metallica, right? This is like Metallica's logo, but instead of it saying Metallica, it says anti-Semitism. Is that correct? Not the skull mask. Yeah, not the skull mask, not the fake Metallica. I hate it. DeSantis. Oh yeah, it says DeSantis country, the flag of Florida. They've made the state of Florida into a swastika. Here's a closer image just so you can know. Also, if anybody can figure out the name, if anybody followed any of these places, any of these people back to their cars and they saw their license plate, I thought that would be an amazing thing. You know, not that I would support anybody doing anything bad to these people. I'm just saying that, you know, I thought it would be very interesting if that happened. These people outside the venue, waving Florida flags as well as Nazi flags. This is an SS flag, if you were wondering. Goth girl, yeah. Here's your goth girl Nazi GF. Anybody in the market for a goth girl Nazi GF? She's right here. She's ready to mingle. Okay, she loves Florida, especially Nazi Florida. I've never actually seen this before. They just made this up, and that's not. Florida doesn't look like that, does it? Florida's Panhandle. Wait a second. Wait, Florida's Panhandle doesn't look like that, does it? Did they extend it? They extended it a bit. That's weird. Anyways, it does. It's accurate. Okay. It was planned all along. I do it. Whoever said that they do it, you're down bad. You need to be bonked. Okay. And honestly, my bad. Not bonked. You need to be bopped. Stronger than your average bonk. I want there to be some actual like a day's worth of damage. Okay. I want there to be a headache afterwards. Not your normal bonk. A bop. You need it. Fuck you. Stop. Stop it. Bruh, that nussy though, that nussy be fire. I was gonna make a joke. I shouldn't make a joke. I shouldn't make the joke. Anyways, here's their Pepe Silva board, Nazi Florida. This wasn't even in Florida. This was in Missouri. The classic propaganda board. This is so creepy. This is so fucking weird. Wait, can we look at this really quick? Can we read this board super quick? Ron Perlman wants to groom your children for homosexual butt sex. No! Not the homo booty sex. No, anything but that. Yo, there's slurs. Oh, are there? Oh no. Oh, geez, there are slurs. Oops. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know. Anyways, all right, let me read this board for myself because apparently
this meme is very real.
They've decided that there needs to be many slurs on it. The more I've looked at it, the more slurs I've found. Ron, he wants to groom your children for butt sex, but our glorious leader, Ron DeSantis, won't let him. Political contributions of our glorious leader, Ron DeSantis. Prevented Ron Perlman and other Jewish pedophile groomers from sodomizing children. Oppose the Jewish media monopoly and the ADL censorship of big tech. Defeated the sickening communist N-word F-word Andrew Gillum. Okay. Prevented T-word F-words from competing against real girls in sports. Banned the Europhobic Jew doctrine known as critical race theory. It doesn't even mention black people. It's all Jewish people, I guess. What are you reading, a 4chan forum? I'm reading Ron DeSantis. I'm reading what the reason why Ron DeSantis voters like Ron DeSantis. I'm wondering if this is a slur. So I think I'm going to not say it, but it's like I'll change the word. I'll make it poop skin. Legalize Black Lives Matter, aka legalize Black Lives Splatter. My bad. So this is the next point. Legalize Black Lives Splatter, aka running over poop skin protesters when they are blocking the road. Legalize the shooting of poop skin looters. Stopped the invasion of illegal poop skins from Mexico. Deported illegal poop skins to Delaware. Created right-wing death squads. So there's more on this, but we don't need to. We don't need to read any more. Also, there's like a Ron DeSantis supporter who says eugenics for all. So I guess they don't like Medicare for all, but they do want eugenics for all. Okay, very interesting. POV, your average Ron DeSantis voter, I guess. Here is them outside of the venue. Stop anti-Semitism. And it got so bad that Stop Anti-Semitism and the Holocaust Museum both had to come out specifically against them because they were just doing this outside of the venue of TPUSA, and they did literally nothing. They didn't care at all about it whatsoever. They were marching through the streets. There were some things that they said, and then they moved into this area here. We're not gonna go much further, mostly because I don't want any more slurs to pop up on the on the stream. I must tell you. Obviously, they had like was that discriminatory image of Jewish people? What is it, like Mr. Greedy or something, like Greedy Helper? I forget exactly what it's called. Yeah, we're just gonna leave these muted. Happy Merchant, thank you. Yeah, they have a bunch of Happy Merchant stuff. Also, apparently, this guy is a big fan of Pokemon because he has like a little Pikachu. He has like a little Pikachu flashlight or something back here. Disgusting. Yeah, they have flags with DeSantis's face on it. They're holding Nazi flags. It's the stupid. Yeah, stuff like that. Normal stuff, you would imagine. And you can see some of the stuff that they were saying. Vote for Ron DeSantis. 96% of the media is owned by Jewish corporations or something. So just so you know, we don't touch on like Nazi talking points super often, but just so you know, when they say Jewish corporations, what they mean is that somebody owns there's like the corporations are owned by stockholders, but like their CEOs, on like some of them, their aunts, grandpas, third cousin was Jewish, and so that's why they're Jewish. Unironically, that's what most of the stuff is. Like almost none of these people are practicing Jews or they grew up in a Jewish household. It's always their like great grandpa's third uncle was like third cousin was like that they never spoke to was Jewish that they found. Actual Nazi shit. Well, they are actual Nazis, so I would imagine them to be doing actual Nazi stuff. That is true. They are doing their one drop rule. Yes. None of these people view themselves as Jewish whatsoever. But I guess that doesn't matter. And it doesn't, and it doesn't even make sense from Ron DeSantis's point of view, because a lot of the people in Ron DeSantis's administration and a lot of the people who he's working with are Jewish as well, or have the same tenuous Jewish connections as the people who these people are saying he's up against. So it doesn't make any sense. But once again, these people are literal Nazis, so it's not like that meant anything to begin with. Moving on to inside of the venue. They had many people speak. Donald Trump was there, but we're not going to hear him speak at the moment, mostly because I don't really care what he had to say. The only thing that he said really that was worth of any note whatsoever is while Yosemite National Park is literally on fire, he said that climate change is a hoax by China and it's not real, and everything is perfectly fine. Anyways, we can just look at all the record temperatures that are being boosted at the moment, but whatever, I guess. You know, it's not like record droughts and record temperatures going about is not anything to worry about, because I don't care about real things. Lincoln Project released this, and I thought it was like a little bit funny. So changing gears a tiny bit inside the venue, while we may not be hearing from Donald Trump Sr., we will be hearing from Donald Trump Jr., and mostly the wacky little noises that he makes. Now, I know a lot of you guys may be one of the type of partners, or you're with a partner who makes like weird little noises. Do I have any weird little noise enjoyers in chat? Like you are somebody who's somebody's partner, girlfriend, boyfriend, they friend, who makes weird little noises, or you love it when your partner makes weird little noises. Is that true? I do the noises. Yes, tizzy moment. That is true. Also, climate change that's going to lead. My thing is like the wildest thing to me is that a lot of the people who say that climate change isn't real, a lot of those people are white. Like, dog, white people are not going to survive if climate change goes through all of its phases that it could possibly. Okay, they're not going to make it. Listen, all right, I have darker skin, even though I still need sunscreen and stuff. I'll be all right. I'll be mostly all right. You know, a lot of white people, they're just not. They will just die. All right. I can't tell you how many pink people I've seen this summer just walking around vibing. The second they step outside, instantly get a 3rd-degree sunburn. All right, it's not you guys. It's not gonna be okay for you. You guys are gonna end up in fucking in the metros. All right, I'm I'm against climate change for you. Okay, some of my girlfriends were white, and while I don't speak to them anymore, I don't want them to die. You know what I mean? They will have to turn into mole people. That's true. And a lot of those companies have the same tenuous Jewish connections that they're complaining about the media does. The only problem is they don't care about these companies destroying the planet. What they do care about is not being able to say N-word, F-word, N-word, F-word, K-word, T-word on Twitter. That's the real issue that's destroying the planet, okay? Definitely not like rising temperatures, rising sea levels, and worsening droughts. 100%, you know, as you truly know. I am a true white ally, okay? Listen, I care. I can't tell you how many like girlfriends and like female friends I've taken to like water parks only for me to have to like protect them or something, or like dunk my towel in water and then wrap it around them because they're like moments from getting irreversible skin cancer damage from being in the sun. And this is before like crazy record temperatures, okay? It's hard out there. It's hard out there. Big ups. Big ups to my light skins out there, okay? Mexican shit's hot. It do be a little spicy. So, we're gonna be listening to Weird Little Noise
This meme
Boy.
is very real.
It seems like he just did some more crack as he, is. Listen, okay, if it comes out that Don Jr. and Hunter Biden are like do crack together, I'd be like, no, that's really, reaching across the aisle, okay? No more reaching across the aisle with Republicans to screw over poor people. We need more reaching across the aisle with the sons of politicians smoking crack off of strippers ass cracks together. You know what I mean? That's the sort of across the aisle work I need. I think that's what's going to fix this country.
I have extreme anxiety.
So
oh
true.
My God. There's not a single thing. Everybody, it's great to be here in the wonderful state of Alaska. Really? Nappy time. You know?
Is this guy? Is this? There's not a single sing. He's so high. He's having so much fun. He's having so much fun on stage. These people peaked at high school. Oh, dude, I think they peaked in middle school. Honestly, 1 mask, 2 mask. Now they're on monkeypox. I'll have to let you know. I think Democrats are a bunch of monkeys. He's like beatboxing on stage. Is this guy okay? And they're on Hunter Biden for smoking crack, dude. Hello, look at this man. He's out of his mind. This guy needs to be in a rehab center. Oh my gosh.
I don't know. Oh, I know. Really? He's in the later stages of dementia and Alzheimer's combined. Liberal world order. There.
He's just a weirdo. He's just a bit of a freak. He needs help. This man needs help. Like honestly, this guy needs help. Really, like father, like son. He's just like, this is what happens when your life is built completely on nepotism and smoking crack. Okay, the thing is, like, there's something about like Donald Trump's presidency that broke him, because like Don Jr., he wasn't this bad before. He really wasn't. He was not this bad. Now he's really bad. Like something happened during the 4 years that when Trump was in office that led him to be, I don't know, just like broke him or something. He got with Kimberly Guilfoyle, which is incredible, mostly because her name is fucking Guilfoyle. Like, yikes. Hello? Like, like, it sounds like some sort of like demon monster that eats children who like are up past their bedtime in like an old Germanic fairy tale. You know what I mean? Gilf oil. Please don't try and sell me the Gilf oil. Stop it. Get some help. Oh my god. More connections, more crack. Yeah, maybe it's just way easier for him to get crack these days, because there's no possible way you can tell me and convince me that this man is not on some sort of illicit, illegal drugs. All right. Moving on to some speakers who are also there at turning points. Obviously, Marjorie decided to show up as well from Georgia, a couple of states away, to talk about, Ukraine, because she knows a lot about that.
The great free state of Florida. Now, I have an announcement for you all. I don't know if you've heard the very important news that you all have to know. I know you've been told that January 6th is the most important thing happening in our country. Yes, I know. I know that you all think that Ukraine, some country, a country next to another country called Russia, is the most important thing you should care about. But
are there like 4 people in attendance? Like nobody is speaking. Like the crowd is the crowd sounds like there's like 10 people there. Like who's saying that? I don't know. I don't know who's saying it. They're making it up in their head. The January 6 hearings are incredibly important for your average American to listen to. Conservatives like Green, like Trump, like Gaetz, like Don Jr., and like Charlie Kirk were trying to overthrow democracy, and they were all cheering it on until it backfired. And this is all stuff that they do. And now they're backpedaling, now even saying that they weren't even a part of it and they didn't support it. And if we did, then it wasn't that bad. It's completely ridiculous. And she's trying to get the crowd to rouse them up to say that now we need to stop caring about people getting bombed and dying across the world because, you know, their problem isn't our problem, even though we want to help them. We've been helping them for an incredibly long time. This is new. But yeah, she is basically just an NPC, and a lot of conservatives are NPCs too.
We have a new global pandemic. Have you heard about this? Monkeypox, that's right. It's the newest thing. It's the newest thing. Listen, you guys have to update your social media right next to your Ukraine flag and your mask emoji and your vaccine shot emoji.
Is there even is there a mask emoji? Is there a mask emoji? Like, Marjorie Taylor Greene feels like if you took an entire mom group forum and then like condensed them down into like a single being of pure evil and then sent them like into the world, right? It's just like weirdo conservative HOA mom group just decided to just be a piece of shit for no reason. Oh man, she is the Karen final boss. It is true. You know what? We need to do a story on her, like getting her back blown out by socialists. We need to do a whole segment on her, like slurping up that commie and cheating on her husband sometime. We have to do that. We haven't made a full one yet. I think it's almost time to make that. Fucking what? Ew. Yeah. Listen, we'll be excited for that coming up in the future. We're gonna be dropping a commie segment. Yes, she did indeed have extramarital sex with like a 6 foot tall communist gym owner who bans cops from working out at his gym. It is true. It is true, Hassan. Wait, no joke? No joke, okay? Listen, when I tell you we're going to do a segment on something, when I tell you something about these people, and it's not in a joking tone, it is true. It is true. It is a true thing that happened. We're going to be we're going to be putting that up with the same segment where we're going to do a detailed look at Lauren Boebert skimming on her taxes and giving guns to minors, as well as as well as her now husband inappropriately displaying his penis in front of her and her other underage friends at a bowling alley in Rifle, Colorado. We'll like mix all those together, and we'll that'll be part of like a new conservative family values segment, I think. Yeah, her pedophile husband. Yeah, like Lauren Boebert's husband, when he was I think 22 or 23 or something, and her friends were 16 at a bowling alley in Rifle, Colorado, he decided to walk up to her and her friend group, whip out his dick, and start slinging pre-cum everywhere across like the bowling alley. And then the cops had to get him, and they booked him for indecent exposure. And then apparently she liked what she saw when she was underage, and then decided to get in a relationship and marry him after that. Her bar went out of business? Lamau, dude. Lamau. But yeah, we'll talk about that sometime. Anyways, outside of that, let's touch on the last thing that we're going to be touching on here today, which is going to be, I'm sorry about this, but I have left the worst for last, which is Matt Gaetz. All right. And alleged pedophile Matt Gaetz allegedly sex trafficked minors across the Florida border. Matt Gaetz still under investigation for alleged for the alleged pimping and sex having of sex worker minors who they paid through Venmo with his friend. Matt Gaetz, decided to, he was more than welcome to speak at TPUSA, even though he's still under investigation, as much as he wants you to forget that. He has something to say about people who are seeking abortions, that especially, the ones who he does not personally want to impregnate. Let's just take a look at what Matt Gaetz had to say while he was speaking at TPUSA. And let me remind you before you listen to this, this is on the back of him lying and other conservatives lying about that 10-year-old who got impregnated and needed an abortion. So let's just listen to this.
Have you watched these pro-abortion, pro-murder rallies? The people are just disgusting. Like, why is it that the women with the least likelihood of getting pregnant are the ones most worried about having abortions? Nobody wants to impregnate you if you look like a thumb. These people are odious on the inside and out. They're like 5'2", 350 pounds, and they're like, give me my abortions or I'll get up and march and protest. And I'm thinking, march? You look like you got ankles weaker than the legal reasoning behind Roe versus Wade. A few of them need to get up and march. They need to get up and march for like an hour a day, swing those arms, get the blood pumping, maybe mix in a salad.
So, mind you, right off the backs of a 10-year-old being impregnated and needing an abortion, apparently he thinks that 10-year-olds should have abortions. Remember, he loves his girlfriends young, so I guess him attacking really young people is not going after really young people is not a surprise. It should not be a surprise to anyone at this point, right? He does love them young. He just got to scoop them up young. So Matt Gaetz. Matt Gaetz is a man who looks like Matt Gaetz looks like a cartoon character from a failed pilot episode of a Adult Swim show. Okay. And he's the one to sit up here and say that like other people look ugly and other people are disgusting or something or odious. Matt Gaetz, if you didn't know, has an adopted son who he does not legally have, who he did not legally adopt. Okay. He's just a a Cuban kid who he said that he just found and decided to make his son, his like adoption of Normal. What's his name? Is that the kid's name? Nerman? Does anybody remember? He reminds me of Carl from Aqua Teen Hunger Force. Yeah, he looks like Beavis and Butthead. Nestor. Yes. Nestor. Thank you. Forgot about Nestor. You have to talk about his son, Nestor, again. So, like, Nestor is the light of my life. I couldn't imagine loving him more if he was my own flesh and blood. I'm proud of him. I raised him to believe that everyone should be equal. So, never forget that we only learned about Nestor's existence, his adopted son, in a heated exchange between Gaetz and Democratic Congressperson Cedric Richmond of Louisiana during a hearing of the Justice Police Act in 2020. He just randomly started talking about how he has a 19-year-old kid who he just keeps at his house. Well, on Monday, Gaetz went on Republican Pornhub. Dude, I forgot how the Roots authors go hard. And claimed that he allowed his 19-year-old live-in son to attend spring break. My son is a college freshman. He had no real graduation, no prom. I struggled on whether or not to allow him to enjoy spring break in Panama City. I allowed him to leave and have an abbreviated one. Okay. I did not have a good night's rest the entire time. Slim Nestor is not your damn son. Slim Nestor is not your damn son, he said. Using Gaetz' non-adoptive son logic, I could, in theory, go outside and stand next to a Porsche Panama. I could tell everyone who comes around that this is my Porsche and that I adopted it and have been raising it as my own. I would expect everyone to refer to me as the Porsche's father. And then note that the Porsche is my son. I would then go on talk shows, which I would talk about the difficulty of raising a Porsche in this climate when I don't have any papers, no blood ties, not even the keys to the car, and the owner is inside the subway waiting for their footlong. The Roots, man, I need to get some of the Root Riders on sometime. They have way too much fun. They have way too much fun writing articles, man. But yes, Nestor is just some kid on the coast of Florida that Matt Gaetz just found randomly and decided to name his son. It is a very odd meme, I must tell you. We need him to stay away from young people. That is true. Now, if you think that he was just going to be able to get away with this with absolutely no repercussions, I have to tell you, the answer is no, because this came back to bite him, all right? Newsmax reported Florida Matt Gaetz blasted abortion activists in rant sure to raise dander of his political opponents. Yeah, he mocks abortion people who need abortions. Nobody wants to impregnate you, even though Matt Gaetz spends his time trying to impregnate minors. Dander raised. Now, this, mind you, you guys may not know who this is, but this is an abortion activist in Texas, if I remember correctly. This is a 19-year-old abortion activist in Texas, right? Who he just decided to quote tweet and say, this person would never be sexually assaulted. I would never want to breed this 19-year-old. And this is her. Bullying me won't make you taller. It also won't make your forehead smaller. Damn! Sheesh! Okay. My goodness, man. Holy! Calling out the goddamn Boeing 747 landing strip he's got up there. My goodness, Dragon Queen. But that's not all. She decided to quote tweet him as well. Sorry. Am I not a little too old for you, Matt? I know you have a thing for targeting teens, but 19 is on the cusp, don't you think? Oh no. Also gotta make sure to give my dues. Thank you. Need to throw a coin in, you know? Put him in the coffin, put him in the grave, drag his ass. It is true. My man does love his girls quite young indeed. Remember, even though Matt Gaetz tries to say that he is not under investigation anymore and he is vindicated from the whole PDF file thing.
This meme is
and
very
he thinks
real.
that he's in the clear. This is something that came out very recently. Matt Gaetz Associated has cooperated in probe against multiple individuals. So Joel Greenberg, okay, if you remember from our old story, and we'll link back to us talking about the story when it broke. But Joel Greenberg is somebody who was working in Florida, who was best friends with Matt Gaetz. Joel Greenberg was arrested for sex trafficking minors after he was investigated by the FBI, and he was found guilty on sex trafficking minors and prostituting minors to multiple of his associates, one of those being Roger Stone, and another one of those people being our good friend of the frenzy, Matt Gaetz. Now, if you didn't know, Joel Greenberg actually isn't in jail at the moment. The reason why he's not in jail is because he's been working fastidiously with the feds to give more dirt, more and more dirt to the feds on his former friends. One of those, let me remind you, is Matt Gaetz. So they actually delayed his sentencing because he's been giving so much information. He's spilling so many details on Gaetz and a lot of his friends that they had to say, whoa, hang on, we can't put this guy in jail yet. He's giving us so much shit that we can't lock him up. And so the judge agreed to delay his sentencing because they're giving him so much shit on Matt Gaetz that there's no way that they could possibly do that. And let me remind you, he's already given them information like text messages between him and Gaetz saying that the girl that they just slept with was under 18. And Matt Gaetz responded saying, whoops. And Greenberg decided to hit up the girl and say, listen here, young lady, you lying about your age is so bad. I thought you barely were 18, not that you were barely not 18. And she was like, I'm sorry, mister, don't be mad at me. And he's like, how could I be mad at such a beautiful face like that? And then didn't text her back until after her legal birthday when she turned 18. And a week after she turned 18, guess who showed back up again for a new job for her? Matt Gaetz and Joel Greenberg. It is genuinely disgusting. And Gaetz is alleged to travel state lines with her to go sell her to more of his friends, get some more cash money from them to dive into that underage poon, as he would like to put it. Actually disgusting. And Olivia put it in no better words than I could. My rule that if you're going to attack me on my looks, you better be hotter than me. And to put it blunt, Matt Gaetz is one of the ugliest things to crawl from the pits of Florida. And that is some of the truest things that I could possibly say. Not only is he one of the ugliest things to crawl from the pits of Florida, from a looks wise, he's one of the ugliest to crawl from a personality wise. He is genuinely, actually, probably one of the most disgusting people that I've seen in my entire life, and he does not deserve to be sitting in Congress, and he only deserves to be sitting in a jail cell awaiting his sentencing, because he is truly disgusting. But until then, I guess we're going to have to wait to see when the feds are going to close the trap on him, because they're still collecting dirt on him. And I gotta tell you, it's not looking too good. Well, thank you, Charlie Kirk, for such a fun time. I know you really enjoyed it.